it's like white on the tip. That's number one. There's a shit ton of oil where it was in the cylinder, and the whole tip is really wet, so that's scary. So maybe something happened to my second cylinder. This one looks just like number two. It's really, really wet again. Like it's soaked. Yeah, the cylinder looks really wet too. Both 2 and 3 looks really wet. This one looks like the first one. It's got like the white on the tip, but it's dry. The threads are a little bit wet. It's exactly what the first one looked like. They all look wet, but they're all like black. So that one's not as wet as 2 and 3. So dump tube's off, clears up some space to try to reach that downpipe V-band clamp. This O2 sensor is in the way too, but I should be able to work with that. I don't really feel like taking that off because I need to get like an adjustable wrench. All right, well, removing that dump tube opened up a lot of opportunity to get a wrench on that downpipe clamp. So I should have this downpipe off in just a couple minutes. So I'll just kind of slide the downpipe off and then look inside the turbo. All right, it feels like the downpipe is about to slip out. Yeah, it's ready to go. Okay, there's oil. Smells like oil. It smells like gas too, actually. There was oil collecting on the transfer case right underneath the downpipe. You can see right there. But it could have been from me not being able to clean it very well. Just trying to look inside the downpipe. All I see is just black. I don't see any oil per se. Turbine housing looks very, very black. It did look like oil was at least dripping down it. At the very least. You can see the oil right there on the clamp. If I can get that camera to focus right there, there's oil on the clamp. Let's try to get the camera down into the turbo. Alright, well, no oil in the downpipe. What's going on, guys? This is the next day. I have a lot of work to do for my job today. I'm working from home. So I only have a few minutes to check on something. Man, I really gotta clean off this bird poop. It's been here for a couple days now. So I only have a couple minutes to work on my car right here, but overnight I was thinking a lot about this smoking issue, and I was kind of like writing some notes on my phone. The fact that cylinders 2 and 3 had the most oil in the cylinders, where the spark plugs look the most wet and black, which, you know, I would think means the most oil is being burned in those cylinders, supports the PCV hypothesis. If the oil is being dumped in right here, I would think that 3 is going to get the most, and then either 2, since the oil's got some momentum, maybe it'll come over here, or 4 would get a lot. Not really sure. The other thing that I have here is, so I compression tested it. All of the compression looks fine, which means that there's probably, that means that the piston rings are probably fine, the valves are probably fine. So there's only 2 other ways oil can get in. That's either through the exhaust or the intake ports, but I checked the downpipe and the boost piping. There's no oil anywhere. So probably not coming out the turbo, and plus it would have to go up, all the way straight up and into the the manifold that way, which would be pretty tricky. It comes back to the PCV again. So it seems like the only way oil can get in is the intake, which would mean it has to be the PCV right here. Like I was saying, I was an idiot and I put my front PCV back on for the first time in a while. I put this hose back in and I left the rear one plugged, and then I went and I hit a bunch of boost on test drives. So when you hit boost with this front one plugged in, the check valve right here closes, which means that all your crankcase pressure needs to go out the back hose. But that one was plugged, which means that my PCV, well, two things, I guess. One is that the PCV probably broke and now I'm just sucking oil into the intake manifold when I have this hose plugged in. Two, when I was hitting a bunch of boost, I was pressurizing the whole crankcase and the whole valve cover and the PCV. So then when I came off boost and that check valve opened, I probably shot a ton of oil into the manifold because there was all this pressure in the PCV and the valve cover. It needed to go somewhere. So as soon as I came off boost and there's now vacuum here, it probably shot tons of oil in here every time I hit boost. So that's my hypothesis, especially because there's probably a bunch of oil sitting up here anyway, because when I have this hose on here, there's no vacuum pulling out the oil. It's just kind of doing its own thing. It's just, the pressure is coming out, but it's not being sucked out. It's just kind of coming out on its own. Having this hose on here and now actually hitting it with a vacuum and pulling that out, any oil that was stuck in here is now getting pulled out. So that's my hypothesis. It's the only thing that makes sense so far. So basically I can confirm this by pulling off some of my piping down here. I should see oil down here. I mean, I started the car and revved it for a while, so I probably burned a bunch of it off so far. It is still smoking, so I'm sure there's more. I don't want to pull the intake manifold off, that would take a long time, but I'm hoping I see that the oil fell down through this piping and into here. So I'll probably just pull that bottom one off and just check right there. See if I can find oil in this piping.
No, that was a thought I had, but all four.
This little L pipe after the intercooler was holding a bunch of oil in it. It wasn't excessive, but I would say it was probably more than what should be in there. I'm going to reassemble everything and take the car for a drive and see if I can blow all the oil out of this. Alright, so I got the bird poop off of my hood. I'm gonna get a bunch of hard water spots, but don't really feel like drying off my car. So I'm gonna start it up, make sure it starts up fine, and then I'm gonna go for a little drive. I'm just gonna make sure it's not leaking fuel first, and I'm just gonna make sure it can even like start up, since I had a bunch of stuff taken apart just now. But it should start up as long as the battery's not dead. Oh. My fuel pump is still unplugged. Still gotta bolt this thing down somehow. Shouldn't be driving around with it bouncing around everywhere. Not that it really moves, but... Alright, let's see if it starts up. My battery's dead. Do I have the jumper? That's the question. And does the jumper have any power left in it? Is the other question, because I've used that jumper so many times without charging it. Man, this car's a mess. Can't wait until that's my priority. Cleaning the car, that'll be a good day. Once the car is running good, doesn't smoke, it's tuned well, doesn't leak oil, Then I can finally clean out the car and start working on the exterior stuff. All right, we're ready to go right there. Just gotta remember to take that out before I drive. I have an exhaust leak, that's for sure. Take it around the neighborhood nicely. I'm gonna take it easy.
Drive it normal for a while.
It's not happy. It's in like limp mode or something. I think I should scan it. It's seems like it might be in limp mode. All right, I was just clearing my codes and making sure my cam timing was good. It's good, just making sure, because that just gave me flashbacks to having bad cam timing because my engine didn't really want to rev. Alright, well, let's give it a go. It's not bad enough to the point where I'm seeing anything come out the back side of the car, which is good. Some lady just yelled at me to slow down. All right, I can actually see the smoke still coming out the back. Yo, neighbors definitely hate this fucking car now. Everyone just gives me dirty looks. And the car looks stock from outside. Very, very few and subtle aesthetic things I've done so far. Oh. And then my car just stalled out of nowhere. Let's see if it starts back up. Alright, well I can see, I just kind of pulled over for a second. I could see the smoke still coming out the back side of the exhaust. I'm gonna go to my house again real quick, just because I want to make sure no fuel is leaking and that no oil is leaking before I try stepping on the gas a little bit harder. I don't know how long it's gonna take to burn all this off, if it is just from the intake manifold. Hopefully I don't get yelled at by any more neighbors on my way home. All right, I'm back home. Let's check out what we got here. The engine keeps dying when I put it in neutral after running it. Gotta figure out what that is. It's definitely still smoking. Definitely still smoking. Yeah, it's about the same. All right, there's no oil that I can see leaking out the bottom. I'm not saying that oil leak is fixed, but it's not like flowing out like it was before. So I'm gonna take it a little bit faster and see what happens. All right, well, my windshield's pretty nasty with all this, these hard water marks. So my view isn't that good, so I'll try to keep it in here. And my camera's about to die, so I'm probably gonna have to swap over to my phone. But I'm on the highway, I'm trying to just blow out this smoke. I can see it coming out the back, holy shit. All right. It's time to take it on a more serious test drive this time. It's still smoking, but it doesn't seem to be smoking quite as bad. It's dying on idle. It's dying after I put it in neutral when I'm driving. And the oil leaks seem to be mostly gone. So I got my computer plugged in. I'm logging on Maestro right now. Let's see if my, oh, didn't die that time. I wanted to get this here so that I can see if it's pulling timing, because if it is, I don't want to be driving in high boost. I do want to go into boost and, you know, drive it kind of hard, because I think that'll help blow out all this oil, and it'll really confirm that this is the cause of me burning oil. There being a shit ton in there from the PCV. Unfortunately, Maestro uses the OBD port, and so does my boost gauge. So that's one of the unfortunate things about the P3 gauge. I can't log that and look at my analog boost at the same time, but it's all right. It's not the end of the world. Let me try to go into like a little bit of boost and see what happens with the timing retard. The car feels great, like there's no hiccups at all. So I don't think there's a problem of any sort with the tune like needing to be updated right this second. I mean, I want to be as careful as I can. I've already made a couple mistakes, and I think I've lucked out with them so far. But yeah, let's try just like a really small second gear guy. Timing pull there, but I didn't even hit wastegate pressure. Alright, let's try a little fourth gear, see what happens. Feels good. I mean, I can hit at least wastegate pressure a little bit higher without knocking. So that's reassuring. Let's try a little fifth gear action here. A little bit of timing pull in cylinder number 4. 4 had a good looking spark plug and good compression. I mean, they all had good compression. Cylinder 1's the only one that was down a little bit. Cylinders 1 and 4, the spark plugs looked not nearly as bad as 2 and 3. So honestly, I'm surprised that I'm able to drive this well. Maybe they cleaned themselves off a little bit. I'm not really sure. I can definitely recheck that though when I go back home. I can just pull the spark plugs out, see if they clean themselves off. Same thing with that O2 sensor. I was a little bit scared that the O2 sensor would be messing up my air fuel readings, because that is also all gunked up. Yo, my headlights are pointing like straight at the sky. I need to update them or level them out so bad. Shit, so I thought I was recording that whole time, so apparently I didn't record any of that. There's no oil leaking underneath the car, it doesn't look like. I just checked. I pulled over just to like check everything. There's no fuel leaking out of that fitting right now. At least it doesn't seem to be. There doesn't seem to be any oil leaking. There was one tiny little spot up on the trans. I don't know how it's getting there. I don't know if it's old or what, but it's very, very minor. I don't see any actually dripping down the bottom of the engine or trans. It smells like gas in here. It really smells like gas in here, but then again, I do have a catless exhaust, and I have a slight exhaust leak right now right underneath me, so that might be getting into the cabin. And then the other thing is I have my evap hose rerouted underneath the car, and it's kind of like I want to bring it all the way back to the rear of the car so this doesn't happen, but it's kind of like in the middle of the car, kind of like behind, like underneath my back seat. I mean, it's underneath the car, but it would be underneath my back seat. Yeah, it's in that area, so that could be seeping up into the cabin as well. Not really sure. And so far, I'm able to hit a decent amount of boost without any knocking. There's some very slight cylinder 4 retard when I get pretty high up there, but I don't know exactly. It stays in the green still, doesn't even go to the yellow or the red. I haven't actually gone full throttle. I've gone probably about like 70 or 80%. So yeah, car feels really good. I'm gonna keep, oh, I didn't even check to see if it's smoking. Let's see if it's smoking. Then I'm gonna go for a little bit more of a drive. It's still kind of idling shitty though. Yeah, it's definitely still smoking. I'm gonna go drive a little bit more, then go back home. Not really much else I can do, I guess. Oh shit, yeah, it just blew a bunch of smoke out the back of the, it blew a bunch of smoke when I just took off. So, I don't really know if it is getting better, to be honest. So, that kind of sucks. But there's no signs of oil leaks, like I said. So, I guess I'll just keep driving it and see what happens. I just filled up. Well, didn't fill up. I got $10 worth of gas because I don't like filling up because it's extra gas, extra weight. I'm looking around. All right, I did not eat today, so I might grab some Wendy's or something. I never eat fast food, but like when I'm starving and I don't have any food at home, I'm gonna go get some Wendy's or something. Dude, I love this gauge so much. Fucking love it. Still smoking a lot. I can see it on the back.
Hi, welcome on Wendy's, man. Check your order.
Yeah, it's still definitely still smoking a bunch. No bueno.
Next window,
Thank you. Oh my god, I feel so bad. My exhaust is like probably going right into their window right behind me. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Oh, I feel so bad. This damn car wasn't in front of me. If they would just move. We got Karen up here asking for a manager. Meanwhile, I'm over here smoking out the whole building. Come on, Karen. Hey, thank you. seen a Mark 5 R32 go over here. So I'm just gonna follow for a second, say what's up. I can't tell. Damn it, he made it through the light and I didn't. Shit. So, right before I put the car into neutral, I kind of give it a little rev. Helps prevent the stalling. Well, I don't see the R32 anymore, so guess I'll turn around and go home. Let me try to record this plume of smoke coming out right here. Alright, so I didn't see anything that time. It's pretty hit or miss. I don't really know what's up with it. It's kind of hard to duplicate, to be honest. Just when I thought I had it figured out, it like throws me a curveball. Alright, I'm officially on my way back home. I'm just kind of curious how much boost I'm hitting, so I'm just gonna check that on my way home. Up to 27 right there. But yeah, plenty of time to work on the tune. I'm really just trying to figure out this burning oil issue. But yeah, I'm gonna bring it back in to my house and see what it looks like. But it does look like it's still leaking. See that? Big cloud. Definitely still coming out a lot.
Remember to do it, you look.
Now that I know what my oil level is at, I can at least monitor that. Now that I know it doesn't seem to be leaking, so now I know how much it's gonna burn. Alright, before I go inside for the night and edit some videos, I just wanted to check to see what kind of codes the car threw. We got 12 codes. I think most of them are for like stupid little like lighting things, but let's see what the engine ones are. Oh, there's no engine fault codes. Alright. Air conditioning, refrigerant pressure. Yeah, I don't have refrigerant. Signal wire for air quality sensor. Not sure what that's about. Central electrics. Left backup light bulb. I don't think there's actually a problem there. Right backup light bulb. I don't think there's a problem there either. That's just because I need to recode my OEM LED details. Whole lot of random codes. Rear view camera system control. What? Do not have a rear view camera. A lot of stupid little lights, but nothing for the engine, so kind of at a loss for what that is. But tomorrow I will do a leak down test to see what kind of pressure the cylinders are holding. They all had good compression, but they could be not holding pressure well. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to check my backup lights though. See what that's about. Definitely on. Got bright ass LED backup lights in there. My license plate light is out Not sure why my license plate light is out, but that happened when I was doing my rebuild, just randomly. When I had the car sitting here in the winter for like probably 2 or 3 months, and I had the engine and trans out, I put the car back together and the backup lights were out. So I haven't had any time to diagnose that because my car has been running like shit. So that's been the main focus. But yeah, that's on the list of things to tackle next. Still more work to be done, like I said, leak down test and changing the plugs tomorrow. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll probably end it here. I'll see you guys in the next one.